As for Jocelyn, aka Josie, right? What do I say about a girl like her, right? Um, I'm flattered, I'm touched, I'm deeply. Before she went mental, I used to have a big crush on Josie as well, right? Before she started screaming and fucking turning the Exorcist or something like that. Fuck me, Jesus. Before she did that, right? She's actually quite a intellectual treat, right? She used to talk, and we also used to listen to her at lunchtime, and she would say, she was the greatest, nooner of all time, right? She played, new wave and classical alternative stuff, right? And it was a real pleasure to listen to Josie, right? She's got one of the nicest voices in radio. It's like a warm cup of coffee, right? It's just like a warm cup of coffee that just kind of washes over. It's like, oh, it's nice, right? It's good. It's really nice, right? So Jocelyn, right? It's like, ah. I mean, she's not that bad. Like, I'm not constipated right now, so it's like, I make that up, right? That's she's worse than she actually is, right? Like, her people really piss me off. The Ukrainians, for no fucking way. But we want to go there. All right, we want to go there. She's not that bad, right? Like, hey, it's like at least he wants one. Well, I'm probably not going to take a double barrel shotgun. If I had a kid, I'm probably not going to do that, right? Like if something to get out, I'm not like that. I'll go. I take a double barrel shotgun to my head. Like I can't handle fucking the realities of growing up. It's like I can handle that. It's like I think it'd be okay. It'd be kind of cool. Like shit. I don't know about changing diapers and shit, but whatever. I mean, they can regenerate all kinds of cool stuff. I like going skiing and stuff like that, right? And whatever, going camping and things like that. So it's like that's cool. I mean, I can't really play baseball. I can earn insurance. Like playing stuff like that's fun. Like I don't have a problem with that. I like playing like croquet and stuff like that, like and badminton and stuff like that. Who cares? I don't have a problem like hanging out. Like me as a dad, it's the bro dad from bro dude to bro dad. I don't know, right? Like I like doing stuff like that, right? So it's like, hey, going skiing, right? They're always up, Blue Mountain. Blue Mountain's awesome, right? And Wasaga Beach is a total fun spot, right? Up here, so it's like I like going skiing, right? So it's like stuff like that, snowboarding, and you could also go to Horseshoe, right? Around St. Louis, right? So that's another place to go. Stuff like that, I like going to football games and tailgate parties and stuff like. I like doing stuff like that, right? So like I remember I was watching TMZ, like, oh, the one side, who cares? Like, shit. It's the weekend. You're cut loose and could be at one with the people. Like, fuck, Instead of like, I guess that's why people like Doug Ford because, he got a little too carried away. My boy was afraid to, crack a beer with, his constituents and stuff like that and say what's up, right? Wasn't like, like how some guys are a little too above. Think they're, their station, they're above everyone else. Kind of like, well, you've elected, if it's like your fans, your constituents, right? You can't be above the people, right? Because they're like what you're big. They're what made you who you are, right? Without them, you're like fucking nothing, right? They're like extended family, right? Like Gene Simmons with the Kiss Army, right? That's like this thing, right? But this one guy told me that this kid he snuck him in to write some fucking thing, blah blah. He said he was kind of a dick or whatever, blah blah. I was like, well, you still signed your autograph and did your thing, right? Like, he has to sign like 1,000 guys' autographs, right? It's like fucking. So he has to do a lot of that stuff, right? So it's like, it's tedious and monotonous at times, right? It's like, but it's still better, like, A, living where I'm living, and B, like, busting your hump all the time, right? You gotta, it's part of the job, right? So, like, it's weird because you have to do it like 1,000 people. It's done like to all kinds of people. Probably get carpal tunnel syndrome for fucking signing so much shit, right? But they don't have time to chit chat for everyone too, right? They got to chit chat with the next guy, right? Well, they take a selfie with you or whatever, which as you wish. It's like, oh, that's cool, right? Yeah, thank you. So, you got to do stuff like that too, right? Or is it back to Josie? It's like, yeah, she's not that bad, man. It's like, the whole city's like fucking. They're gonna like fucking twist my rubber arm. They're gonna break my arm, but they're like, ugh. It's like they're gonna put me in a mercy hold too. It's like fucking, I'm gonna have to tap out now because like fucking. I really want to fuck my healthcare back. And I'm just like tired. I'm like, Josie's got a nice warm bed. Oh fuck yeah, thank you, Josie. Like actually, and she got some fucking kick-ass knockers. All right, right. That would be awesome, man. That would be awesome, right? Uh, she's not that bad though. Fuck. She's got some cottage up in the Kawarthas or some shit like that. Oh, that's cool. Fuck. Safe and sound. Away from everyone. Away from everyone. It's like, well, wouldn't that be nice, right? At least he wants one. Oh, I don't know. It shows you, like, would Josie be a bad mom? She's quite determined that she'd be a good one, so I was like, oh. Right, so, like, whatever. It's like, these Jews don't take no for an answer either. It's like, oh, no, Dad. Yeah, I'm with Israel for sure. I guess, like, I like that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm like, fuck, absolutely. I'd rather, like, go come to Dubai. I'd rather go to Jerusalem. Right? I'd rather go there. I'd go for, like, Huckabee gives guided tours of the Holy Land, right? So I'd go there, right, and go for a swim, and they have nice beaches there. Like, parasailing with them, like, no, when I was actually thinking about making a Middle Eastern kind of paradise, I was thinking of Israel, right? That's the place I'd want to go, right? Either that, or maybe we could reestablish relations with Iraq, right? Like whatever thing, because like everyone's like Saudi Arabia. What about Iraq and Kuwait? You know what I mean? Like what the fuck? And Dubai, like what the fuck? What about these places, right? They're Christian nations, right? Like Israel, Iraq, like fuck, what's going on there? It's like they got oil too. It's like fuck. So what's everything about them? I wonder how the Paris agreement affects that, right? So it's like fuck. Josie's not that bad, right? Fuck. She got some super huge guns, like lady. What was that one chick? Lady Nightwish there? That was Josie in disguise. Woo! Bet she knows how to give a good hug. Oh, and that's one thing, I love hugging chicks with fucking big knockers. It's fucking so nice, man. It's like, fuck. It's one of the warmest feelings in the world, man. It's like fucking, it's like a warm brook just washing over you, right? It's like, just like, hugging a chick with fucking, that's totally stocked and huge. Right? It's like, it feels so warm and inviting. It's like, it feels so good. Who cares how they go? It still feels great. Like, fuck. It's just like a warm, inviting thing, right? Feels great. Like, Well, I'm sure with modern technology, yeah, we can go for a long time. Like, I'm writing all that stuff too. Go to university, sure. But the thing is, we should make all that stuff common knowledge. Like, kids should be learning about, like, Buddy said he taught his son, like, fucking physics, right? There's 92 atoms and blah, blah, blah. And they're made out with protons, that are positively charged, and neutrons at the nucleus of the atom, and are orbited by electrons, right? Like, that's great, right? So we should, like, what's so hard about teaching kids that, right? Or the periodic table. It's like, why aren't we teaching this at a young age, man? Like, it's not hard. I watched the little thing. Like, it's pretty easy. That's what we really need to get back to to get us back on track, man. I would rather go into I like the Dark Ages and stuff like that, but if it was like a Dark Ages means the Renaissance period, right? That would be cool. I'm talking about, Silicon Valley's great, but what if we had another tech revolution here on the East Coast, right? With Toronto, Chicago, Philadelphia, and Boston, right? Kind of these other cities, right? Because Pittsburgh's a steel town, so is Hamilton. They want to get them manufacturing stuff like that too, right? As I do at Etobicoke. We want to get that back, right? But a different kind of stuff, right? Like, a different kind of technological revolution, like in, what's the term? Oops. Stem cell bioprinting and things like that, right? Even like molecular engineering, right? Like, we could start doing stuff like that, right? And then, yes, I guess my new friend Todd Shapiro and Dan Levy, it's like, yeah, whatever, fuck. They seem to just love the shit out of me for some reason, right? So it's like, fuck, that's cool, fuck, all right. I'd be happy to work with you guys. I guess so. So that's the way it's going to be, okay. And I get my health back? All right, sounds good. Thea, don't forget about little Thea. So she's like, oh, okay, Thea comes too, right? We can't forget about her. She's like, quite upset. Like I guess I said I'd go with it, but A, we have to go bombshell. But B, we can also embrace things like cool sculpting. That's gonna get better too. I like the science of that too. So it shows people how how this melts the fat or whatever. I'd like to learn how about that too. It's pretty fascinating. So we could it's like does stuff on a a molecular level, obviously, right? It destabilizes the fat. Like it's like whatever. It's pretty cool. But I'd love to do that. But yeah, I guess Josie, Todd, the neoconservatives. It's like because the media is always like liberalism for what they stand for. They don't really explain. I didn't really know what a conservative was. Like I'm a libertarian, mind you, right? But I'm more of like a conservative guy, right? Yeah. But what we stand for as conservatives, right? It's like like they've had a lot of control of media. Like we have to be quiet. Like why? Why can't we just be like they're like full blown liberals? Why can't we be full blown conservatives? Well, we stand for our thing. About embracing technology. Like the regulators is like off the hook. Through technology wise, right? Just like keeping jobs here and stuff like that. What we stand for, right? A strong military, like all that like liberal fucking like we hate the fucking military. It's like I like them because they keep us safe, right? It's like like there's a lot of people that don't like us, right? There's a lot of ice holes and fucking Kim Jong Il's and fucking communist China, Never disrespect the truth again, like baby killers and all that stuff. That's a little horse shit. Um, so yes, Toddy Boy, yeah, that's okay. Toddy Boy, I guess so. Toddy Boy's fine. But and like I was like, let's even talking about Pierre Poilievre. It's like I like Pierre Poilievre. He's French, but okay. He's Ontarian French. He's not a Quebec French guy. He's an Ontario guy, right? And getting the softwood lumber tariffs off our thing, getting the Keystone pipeline going. It's like yes, right? Maybe getting rid of OPEC too. It's like shit. Like fuck. We can start talking to other people that wouldn't mind getting rid of that shit, right? Like other stuff, right? Like Morrissey's like he hates the Muslims. I don't like them all either. No, it's not at all. It's like fuck no. I'm definitely with Israel. Like fuck. If I had to choose, for sure, I'll definitely take the Jews over the fucking Muslims for sure. Seems like they're trying to take over the media or something like that. It's like fucking. It's like no, I don't really think so, man. Like fuck off. They can fuck right off. Like Barack Obama, he's a snakehead, man. He's a total snakehead. But Josie's not that bad, man. Like fuck. Should start working at it. We'll start embracing new technologies and new stuff. That's a big part of my show is embracing new technologies, new ideas, and like showing people how to do stuff. Like molecular biology. We can learn what all cells need carbon. All things have a carbon bond. Right. I was like, was it carbolic? Something with an OH, which is like a acetylene bond or a carbolic acid. Some carbolic bond, carbolic acid or something like that. Oxygen and hydrogen makes some kind of carbolic acid. Stuff like that. It's like, one's in a beta position, one's in an alpha position, right? I think beta is down, beta is up, and alpha is down. Little things like that. It's just like, all that stuff's really cool, right? I really love all that stuff, to tell you the truth. It's just like, it's a very fascinating thing. It's not that hard, right? It's just like, to learn all that stuff, right? Like I read that microbiology for dummies. It's like it got me quite well acquainted with some terms and stuff like that, right? And I watched some videos. Like, oh yeah. So that and making that more common knowledge to things, right? Along with like circuits. As well as like the learning circuit, right? It's really good. It's just like basic circuits, like how to do stuff, right? I start doing stuff like that. But we need to make science more. We need to like French class, right? Tell you the truth, man. Like you can learn it. I guarantee. Like they have French for dummies. I guarantee like that. They have the Rosetta Stones of it. But I don't think people should learn that to grade 9, right? I think grade afternoons class. We're gonna focus more on science and math, right? Right. To get really people acquainted with periodic table, how to use it. It's not that hard. It's like fucking easy. All the atoms and stuff like that. It's like shit. Like stuff they can start, like they said, buddy, start teaching us 3-year-olds about atoms. protons and electrons, like shit. That's where I think we really start thinking, doing our kind of stuff, start focusing on things like that to get us back on track and get us to be sharp-minded, like, so it's all common knowledge, right? So it's like, oh man, like, it's like knowing your alphabet, right? You know, like the periodic table is like the alphabet to make everything, right? You know? And you know, like learn all your atoms, right? Like there's 92 of them, but get a basic concept of them, anyways, right? Learn about stem cells and branched chain acids, stuff like that. It's like even like introduction to physics. It's like, it doesn't seem that hard to me. It's like shit. It's like, I mean, I have to work on my algebra a bit, but it's like whatever. It's like they're starting to teach kids code. It's like, well, we start teaching everyone should be getting on this, right? It's like the new language, right? It's like, you know, your basic language skills, right? And I have to work on my grammar. They have programs for grammar, but also the other language, right? Code, you know, amino acids and stuff like that, proteins, molecular biology. Like that's where we need to start focusing on that, right? So that's like common knowledge for everyone, right? So it's like, oh, start getting ready for like a new industrial revolution, a new way of doing things, right? So it's like shit. And once again, Josie's not that bad, but she had to get some big knockers, right? Oh, nah, she's not that bad. I make her, like, when I get really constant, like, oh, that fucking cunt, oh. Yeah, she's not that bad, man. I make that up in my fucking head, right, you know? Toddy boy, well, I guess if I have to. I mean, he is a royal good for this, but, right, you know, he might have to get one of those little gesture hats, a little fucking thing like Woody Allen or something like that, right? But whatever, he's not that. I guess he's like humorous. He is humorous, right? At that point, he's got a thing, you know. It's like, and now, you know, a comical relief by Chuckles, right? You know, fuck, whatever. He's not that bad. Like, fuck. Dan Levy, yeah, I'd probably get along with Dan. Like, once again, when I get constipated, I get fucking really vicious, maybe. And I can be really nasty too. So it's just like I can be extremely nasty, like fuck. Like Morrissey, if he's Axl Rose type fucking nasty, it's just like, you know, like, oh, I can be quite charming and like quite courteous and polite, but actually I'll be like, you know, right to the jugular, kind of cutthroat too. It's like, you know, why don't you go back on closet or something like that, right? If you're gonna be nasty little faggot, right? If you're gonna be like that, well, I don't think that's very cordial or polite of you at all. But you know, we do need to start, you know, focusing on. Like, I guess the conservatives are trying to win the union back, right? Because they originally they want the union back actually on their side. Okay, I guess they seem to like it. Like, they didn't do shit for me, but whatever. Doug Ford seems like he wants to get the union back. I like Doug Ford too. Big Doug Ford guy. Big Doug. I want me to go print stickers at him for his factory. Sure. He makes logos and stuff like that, and they have ties to Chicago and stuff like the printing thing. But they experience in printing things, right? So. In two-dimensional, right? What about a Z coordinate tag? What if you start doing that? Like, you know, they have big things, right? So, right here in Ontario, those guys might be, once again, leaders in that, right? Because they do experiment in two-dimensional, you know, this 3D printing, and just adding a Z coordinate. Which is a third dimension, right? It sounds cool, right? You know, like I've used plasmas and stuff like that before. It's not that hard. But we must get on that kind of, you know, thought process, right? For everyone, like, and like they're talking about Stephen Lecce. He's like digital learning. I think that's the way to go. We're getting more kids on that. That's no problem at all. Like, you know, I like, you know, all you need to like, and just your student code, your student access code, and you have your portfolio or whatever the hell it was. Like, you know, you can access a computer anywhere you go. That sounds way better, man. Sounds like, you know, like you need to upgrade your skills at any point in your life. You can just like add something to your student access code, right? You know, your student code, right? No matter where you are in the world at any time, right? So that might be a way to go too, right? It's starting to, like, I think that's the way to go. The liberals like to hold on to this shit. It's like, fuck it. Because we don't need to have to be like right there in person learning. Like they can, like, you know, they have Skype and all kinds of things, right? So it's like whatever, right? I mean, the first time I learned to play guitar, I was like fucking off the metal method and stuff like that, right? You know? So it's good. Yeah, they have Steve Stein and other guys too. We're checking out too, right? Marty Schwartz is good for acoustic and stuff like that, right? But I'm getting, you know, but we need to started addressing, like, oh, they talked about like the poor, like, the billionaire class is great, but what about everyone else, right? Like that's that's who they're neglecting, right? It's like, and that's really the backbone of the economy, right? Because like, the billionaire economy could just, the billionaire guys could just leap over where they want to go. We have to work about the everyday people, right? They can't afford. Like, I mean, housing's ridiculous nowadays, right? Like, I don't think we should have to be slaves to a mortgage and stuff like that, right? So, I mean, we have to have incentive plans and stuff like that, but I don't know. It's not made here. Like, we shouldn't be buying it, right? Like, a big, Trump went into a big trade war with China. Good idea, right? Like, good idea. Like, we're going to a cold war with them. First off, and hopefully it doesn't escalate to something else. But we have to work on industrial revolutionizing everything here, right? Like, I remember I was watching this thing on AlphaFold, and it was on folding the proteins in the correctly way. Like, the ribosome folds the proteins, right? So we could actually start standardizing, finding a good way that works through the particular proteins, and start making standardized protein folding, right? A standard method. Just like they have the British, was it the U.S. Steel gauge or something, a standard thing like that, something wire gauge, U.S. wire gauge, protein folding sequence, U.S. standard protein sequence gauge or something like that. So I guess a standardized way of doing things like that. And so, like, we'll find a way that works really well and start standardizing protein folding, right? For mass things. But they're also, like, they were tweaking around with the molecules on that stuff, right? Holy shit. I was like, fuck. What if we could start, like, I was just thinking about, first, I always think of an I-beam for some reason. Like, making an I-beam on a molecular level, like the steel that goes on it, all the atoms, protons, neutrons, and electrons, and all that stuff. Like, what if we could start making things on that kind of level? Like, whoa. Like, I guess they have 3D printing now, but they used to call it something else. Nanotechnology, right? Right down to, like, the atoms and stuff like that, like rearranging them the correct thing to make steel and things better, like to tamper it better. Wow. Graphene and all kinds of stuff like that. So it's like, whoa. Graphene's like could be like the future thing. It's this big honeycomb it's a big honeycomb printed thing, right? The way it is. They say chicken wire, I think it's more of a honeycomb, right? But this could be a big revolution for the thing. It could be like the new plastic, right? They replace plastic. It's very durable, very lightweight, it's very hard too, but you can mix it with other things, right? Like a solder, right? It's like was it 50, 60 pewter or something like that. I can't remember. Actually in trade school kind of actually opened my mind to a lot of things too, right? Got my mind kind of thinking like that, but too bad I drank my way through it. Yeah. So there's different things we can start doing, but once again, Josie Dye's not that bad, right? So Sugar Boy's it's like a nice warm coffee, and everyone loves that chicken out. So all right, sounds good. Like I don't know, like there's someone waiting at the front door. Well, 290 Queen Street? No, that's not for me. No, not for me, no. Was it Queens Quarry West? All right, that sounds cool, right? But like, is that the front door? Is that the front door, Josie? Because, no one's waiting. I did see Karen one day there. But alas, Karen's a two-faced hostage, just another fucking man. And I would have loved to pound on her, too. She got started. What was I going to say? But what was I going to say? She's some at the front door. Which front door are we talking about? Door number 1. It's the thing. That's like the Islam network now. It's like fucking CTV. It's like that's the fucking Islam network. It's like, no, right? So that's no good, right? Like that's definitely a fucking CTV is like a fucking no good. I want to stay clear with them anyways, right? Door number 2. City TV. As much as I would have liked to, it's like I'm not feeling it. But I think I haven't been to Rogers Vision yet, right? But I have to go to Rogers, possibly. King Eddie himself, possibly. But they own Shaw now, which is owned by Chorus, right? It's like, so I'll figure something out, right? First, I have to sell my computer off and start getting this. Whoops. Throw the old horn, the old thing. The Jew horn they blow. It's like fucking. I've been working on that too. My Jew horn. you know, I have to figure out which store to go through, right? You know, I have to sell my computer off because I need money for this. What's this stuff called? Wormwood and bile salts and apple ciders because I gotta get it. This thing is like killing me. It's brutal. Like I'm starting to go, but I definitely want to go. Like, oh, it's like a parasite or something like that. So, oh fuck. And then I can get that gut. If I can get that gut done, it's like fuck. Start doing my workouts better. Like they have branched chain amino acids and all kinds of good stuff like that, right? I take that after a workout, always, right? You know, take my ZMAs at night. Oh, great. And take my NIM and my M plus or NAD plus in the morning. I mean, I don't know what really goes on, but you know, so I have to figure what's going on, right? I'm getting closer now. Today was a rainy, shitty day, so it's like, whatever, right? But, you know, being emasculated. Right, but Josie's not that bad. She's nice. She's the best. She's the best of the worst, right? She's like a real nasty little witch, right? She's a nasty little chick. She's like she's a real nasty little fucking chick, right? She doesn't get her way. It's like, she's a nasty little girl, man. She's like fucking. She's got that fucking cold-hearted fucking side to her, right? That cold English heart that, you know, I have to be nasty when I want to, right? So, and she's like that. She's like, you know, like I said, a velvet fist, an iron glove wrapped in a velvet fist. That's our Josio, right? But yeah, she's not that bad. She's alright. I mean, I have to get back to the gym and like get my hair and all that stuff back too, but you know, I can do all kinds of stuff like that. But I want my health back. So that sounds like fun, man. You know, it sounds like fun. Do I take myself seriously? It depends how constipated I am. I can be real fucking. I'm moody. It's like shit. I can, like right now, I kind of in a good mood. Like, right. But I'm fucking moody. I'm moody, right? I'm like one of them old dragons. It's like, right? You know, like Brady Smokehouse ass and shit like that. Like fucking, one of those fucking assholes, man. Like sometimes I go into like, you know, fucking full-on Godzilla mode and I just like, you know, wreak havoc on the city of Toronto. It's like Tokyo, right? It's like fucking, I could like probably, if I, you know, level it if I wanted to, right? Like they're lucky I haven't gotten that far, right? I'd have like, you know, taken out the CN Tower and crashed in the Rogers Center or something like that, right? Because, you know, but I'm starting to like chill out and fucking like, okay. It took me a while, right? But I'll have to, I guess, Queen Square West, like, fuck. Like, is there someone at the front door, Josie? Is that going to be you? Or Toddy Boy? Or someone? Okay. CTV has gone, like anti-white people. It's like, fuck. It's like, fuck. So I don't like it anyways. It's like, yes, can I help you? It's like, fuck. Yes, I'm an international celebrity. Where's damn, you know, where's Todd Shapiro? Well, these guys, like, never heard of us. Like, CP24, it's like, fuck those guys, too, right? Queen Square West, yeah. Like Josie was even like, oh, give the milk bones, fucking right. A little too cool, so.